So do you think, you said you think there's something in your head, right? Do you think that's how they're keeping track of you?
They did a CT scan while I was there in New Mexico, and there's this bright white glowing cylindrical object. You remember, you know what a cert looks like? A cert, you know, like a little candy, the cert candy?
Yeah.
It looked exactly like that, but it glowed.
Ooh.
It was like a bright white glowing object in my head. They don't know what it is. The doctor there in New Mexico said, did you ever have some type of a surgery where they may have left something in your head? What?
Is it radioactive?
I have no idea.
Why don't you have it taken out? Can they take it out, or is it major surgery?
I had discussions with some doctors from UC Davis Medical about that, and they're convinced that I had some type of a surgery that it's some artifact that was left over from surgery.
So basically they're keeping tabs on you with this thing in your head.
I don't know.
I do. They're keeping tabs on you with this thing in your head.
Oh my God! Hey Anthony, why do they take people and not let them come back? What are they doing with these people?
You know, there are some people that have been tagged throughout their entire life,
right?
Because of a genetic marker. Some people have a certain blood type. You know, God knows what else. And these people are followed. They're experimenting on their entire life.
So,
and, I've had hundreds of people come up to me and literally show me implants in their body. One woman in Dulce, New Mexico showed me on her elbow an implant that was there. She was trying to get in contact with Dr. Roger Lear so that she could have it removed. She remembers when it was put in her arm. She remembers that her mother and her father also had one implanted in their elbow the same day that she had one. They were right there in Dulce having a picnic. She was about 8, 9 years old. The three of them saw this bright white flash. They hear this sonic boom. The next thing she knows, her parents are passed out. She's like waking up from like this stupor or whatever, and she feels her arm is in pain. When her parents wake up, their arms are in pain. Well, all three of them had implants in their elbow.
Just one second. And we have another question.
Yeah.
Okay, Ruth wants to know, does Anthony feel that some doctors are aliens that can put an implant in while they are doing surgery?
Well, it's possible. It's possible, yeah.
Totally. Okay, so we're not going to take any more questions right now until, what, 10 after?
Sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Illuminati.
Well, let me tell you something about the Illuminati. If you look at the groups that represent the world's elite, David Icke likes to call them reptilians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in David Icke's mind, and he's a brilliant guy, by the way. If you've ever listened to David Icke, you know, present one of his lectures, he's just a freaking brilliant guy. The problem is I disagree with him on a fundamental level about the elitists. I don't think that they're reptilians in the sense that underneath their skin they have, you know, they look like reptiles. He does believe that. But I believe that we refer to them as reptilians because of the negative image that they represent to us as humans. I think that these reptilians, these Anunnaki, these people that represent the Illuminati, essentially it's just a club that you and I can't get into. It's a tightly controlled bloodline. And they only go outside of their bloodline to look for people that have the same genetic markers as they do, and then they'll indoctrinate them into the group for purposes of sex, breeding, and that's about it. Because they're already in control, and they don't want anybody else being in control. So that's
what are they in control of?
The banking industry, the government. Everybody thinks that the government is the all-powerful, you know, entity across, you know, all the governing bodies across the planet are the most powerful entities on the planet. Everybody, you know, thinks we're in control, that the governments are in control of us. The governments aren't anything. They're at the bottom of the Illuminati pyramid. They're at the bottom of the structure. The governments are simply there to make us believe that there's somebody in control, that we have somebody that is accountable to us for when stuff happens.
So who is in control?
the people that are in control are like the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Lees out of Asia. There's a very prominent family there. Li Ka-shing. Just go to Wikipedia and type Li Ka-shing, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
So they're reptilians?
Well, David, I call them reptilians. I call them descendants of the Anunnaki.
Now,
These are alien-human hybrids. Jay Weidner calls them crypto-terrestrials. These are the Archons. These are the Anunnaki. These are David Icke's reptilians. Yes, they're all the same. They are the same group. That's what the Illuminati represents. Stanley Kubrick made a movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman called Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
So that movie exposed a lot of the perverse sexual rituals that go on within the Illuminati. And within 3 days of him screening that film to the major executives at the the film company that he worked for, a lot of these people that are multi-millionaires, some of them billionaires even, he was killed. Jay Weidner proved that in this movie, Kubrick's Odyssey.
so Illuminati is a group. It's a new world group.
Yeah, it's a new world order group. It's not a new group. It's been around forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just go to Google, type in Illuminati in Google, and you'll find a wealth of information, a bunch of different perspectives. Trust me, there's a lot of information out there. You should listen to David Icke. If you listen to David Icke, David Icke in particular is probably one of my favorite people to listen to with respects to the Illuminati. I don't like the fact that he paints them as reptilians. I mean, there may be some truth to that. I don't know. There may be some truth to that. I know one woman in particular who I met in Angel Fire 2 years ago who told me that from the time that she was a teenager, she was ritualistically, sexually abused as part of these rituals by these reptilians. Remember I told you about the 8-foot tall reptiles with gigantic penises?
Right.
Those guys.
So she actually saw them as a reptilian?
Yeah, they entered
Really?
into her home, abducted her, took her to this
And they look like lizards? They really look like a lizard?
Sort of.
Yes. I just can't imagine that.
why?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, you basically have said that there's not much we can do, but why would you then bring this all out and make a book if you believe that there's not much we can do?
Because there is something that we can do.
And what is that?
Expose them so that they don't start the execution phase of this depopulation campaign.
But the thing is,
I don't
Anthony,
want them killing me. I don't want them killing my kids. I don't want them killing you simply because we're not like them.
the thing is though, Anthony, you and others that want to expose them, your life is in danger. So you could disappear. And so can the others. And then where does that leave the rest of us?
They have to think for themselves. The whole thing about, we've got all these people who talk about being abducted. We have all these people, and yet humanity just stands around going, okay, they do nothing. And it's up to humanity to come together, to get it together, to say, we are not going to take this.
But how do we do that?
By starting to listen and starting to wake up and do what he's doing, which is to speak about this, write books about this.
So then they could start taking all of us.
Slap the crap out of a bunch of people and say, wake up.
But the thing is, those aliens, they can probably just look at you and hypnotize you just by looking at you, and then there's nothing you can
But
do.
see, I don't believe that. I believe that humans have great capacity to rise above. They are, as he said, we have gotten much more intelligent. We're smart. We're just we're not.
But
we don't have a
these
choice.
aliens, I believe that these aliens are far superior.
That's
to
why
us.
you will end up in a concentration camp. That's why, no, I'm serious.
Really?
I know, but people say they're so much more intelligent than us. They're not.
This is what I see. I see, yes, okay, we're being made aware, like Anthony and Jeffrey Gonzalez, and they're making us aware of this. But we could disappear in a snap of a finger. And it can keep going on and on and on. Then there's spell on you or hypnotize you, and you're like frozen and you don't even know what the hell's going on.
That's the problem. You believe that, and so it can happen. If you don't believe it, or if you don't fall into that trap that they've taught you your whole life, then you won't. Then you'll fight, and you won't.
Well, it's not it's just that from all the things that I've been hearing, you know.
But honey, you believe it.
But I don't see how we can fight an alien. I just don't.
Because they've taught you that you have no control. You are helpless. And so you and anybody else who believes that they're helpless will end up in these camps and they will be knocked off.
So what are they going to do with us, Anthony? Who are they going to take these? Who?
No, that's what they're going to do. Not to you, but they're going to shoot you.
Who are they taking? Okay, so tell me about these camps that I know I've read about this. I've seen it on YouTube that they are building, and there are camps that they're manned. They're the military. They are manned camps, but
yeah, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. FEMA has systematically built these camps all over the country. There's one right here in Sacramento. There's one in Denver, Colorado. There's one in San Jose, California. They're everywhere.
There's one in San Jose?
Yeah, there's one in San Jose. A lot of the places that you think are like fairgrounds, right? Like the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
It'll just take them a matter of minutes to erect the barbed wire fences and put all your asses in there. And you cannot get out.
But who are they going to put in these camps?
Dissidents, people that are going to challenge martial law. Remember how Barack Obama put that executive order into action on Friday night, this past Friday night, quietly at 6:30 p.m. They're going to use amended laws to executive orders to take control of industry, to take control of individual liberty, and to put people behind these fucking cages, these FEMA camps, and there's nothing we can do about it. Why are they doing that? If something disastrous happens, if there's some type of like a cataclysmic event that occurs, people are going to go haywire. People own guns. They already have these television shows with these preppers, these end of the world 2012ers.
Doomsday
preppers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
They're getting ready for something. They're not stupid. They know something's going to happen. So the people that live in rural areas that are away from major metropolitan areas, those are the people that are not going to be put in FEMA camps. Those are the people that are going to escape the urban, containment centers, these FEMA camps. So again, like I said, if you listen to Alex Jones, you know what Alex Jones is?
No.
InfoWars. If you go to InfoWars.com and you listen to Alex Jones, you're going to hear quite a bit of intelligent information from a guy who comes off as kind of abrasive or whatever, but if you just get past that and you listen to him, the message that he carries is very, very strong. Barack Obama is a Bilderberg. During the election, during his first presidential election, right, when he was running for president, what most people don't know is there was this incident, I think it was at O'Hare Airport, I don't remember which airport, but they put all of the journalists onto this airplane. They thought it was Barack Obama was going to be on that plane. What they didn't know is that Barack Obama had secretly got off that airplane, and they took off on the airplane with all the journalists up there, tracking them, so that none of them could follow Obama when he was secretly shuttled to a Bilderberg meeting with Hillary Clinton. Because the Clintons are also fucking Bilderbergers. The Bilderberg meeting is where Queen Beatrice, all your top, aristocrats from Europe, all your top physicists, hell, even what's-his-face, Rick Perry, the governor of Texas, gave a presentation to the Bilderbergers. At the Bilderberg meeting. This is where they indoctrinated Obama. This is where they said, we are going to allow you to become the president of the United States. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're in control. They let us think we're in control. But think about this, ladies. George Bush lost the election twice, yet he was our president for 8 years. Because the Supreme Court, with Anthony, Scalia and all them, are in the back pockets of who? Of the elites, of the Bilderbergs, of the Illuminati. The UN, the UN, the United Nations,
Yes.
that whole group is in the pocket of the Illuminati.
Yes.
The Trilateral Commission. These groups that run the world, we did not elect them. We think we elected them. But we didn't elect these people into these governing bodies. They were hand-picked, hand-chosen, at least at the highest levels. And that's the reality of politics. That's the reality of world governance.
So we're screwed then.
No, we're not.
Well, we're not screwed.
We're not.
We just need to be able to fight the good fight. We need to support people who support liberty. We need to.
Okay, Anthony, there's probably people watching this show thinking we're all nuts.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that think that we're Looney Tunes. Who the hell are these guys up here on live stream talking about this crazy alien faction here on the planet? But you know what? They can think that all they want. I know the truth. Okay, I was raised a Roman Catholic. I was baptized a Catholic. I went to Most Holy Trinity in San Jose, California. My mom would have a fucking heart attack if she knew some of the things that I was saying up here. But you know what? I read the Bible. I read some of the Gospels from the Dead Sea Scrolls. I read I'm just now reading behind me the Nag Hammadi codices, the bookshelf right behind me. I delve deep into these scriptures, into these ancient religious texts. I make correlations for myself, and when I see the facts clearly in front of me, I know the truth. And there's a lot of smart people out there on this planet that a lot of people call crazy, but you know what? They're not fucking crazy. They're just smart. They figured it out. Jay Wagner's one of them. Alex Jones is another one of them. Zachariah Sitchin, who passed away, he was one of them. But yeah, people like to label them as crazy. They're not crazy. They just made startling discoveries. Lloyd Pye. A lot of people like to say, oh, that guy's a fucking charlatan. No, but if it weren't for that guy, we wouldn't know quite a bit about, the fact that genetic markers had been discovered within the human genome, proving to somebody artificially spliced and play games with our genetic structure some time ago. So no, these people are not crazy. They just made discoveries and they're sharing them with us so that we know the truth.
When do you think the government is going to allow these UFOs to land in front of all of us and say, okay, yeah, we're here? When do you think
There's a technology up in Dakota, Alaska. When I came out with my book, UFO Highway, and if you go to my website, UFOHighway.com, that website kept getting hit repeatedly from the AFRL, that's the Air Force Research Laboratory out of Dakota, Alaska, and Langley, Virginia, where the CIA is, right? So they kept hitting my website. I shared that information with Norio, and Norio was like, welcome to the club. They keep hitting my website too. Why? Because I spoke at
looking at. Everybody's looking up at the sky, these little ships going back and forth, and I think it's just to keep people off guard. Because they know things are going on, but if you actually look down in Earth, if you actually look at what's going on in our world and how it's being run, then people start thinking. But if you keep looking up at the skies at these stupid little ships going back and forth, it keeps them off guard. It keeps them not thinking.
You know, I'm thinking that a week after my event here in Sacramento, I'm going to go to an event up there in Trout Lake, which is in, I think it's in Oregon. It's James Gilliland's ranch. They call it the ESETI ranch or whatever. I was talking with some people on Facebook the other night, and I'm really excited about that because at that ranch, I don't know what it is about this place, but with the naked eye, you can literally see in the dead of night UFO activity. You know, some of the strangest stuff. Right here in Calistoga, California, I went with Ed Grimsley. He's been on CNN, he's been on Fox, he's done all these things. Ed Grimsley, I went with his group in Calistoga to this baseball field, and they have these like $3,000, $4,000 night vision binoculars. These are like, like Gen 3 binoculars, night vision. Amazing, and it's amazing. We looked up at the sky, right? And we saw some crazy stuff up there. This is like, these are not terrestrial aircraft. These are not conventional aircraft. These are not humans, with that building, whatever it was that we saw. Now here's the other thing too. When these binoculars are issued to the military, like, the special forces, Navy SEALs, whatever. Now I know this from personal, testimony that's been given to me. One of the things that they're told when they're given these binoculars, the $4,000 binoculars, is don't look up. Just keep your eyes focused on what it is you're doing down here. Don't look up. Because we don't want to answer your fucking questions.
Right. Okay, so we're going to take some more questions. I guess we got a kind of backlog, so we'll do it early, so go ahead.
They're asking about the Puma Punka.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, they're referring to these, Puma Punka is in South America, and they aged this facility about 12,500 years old. Now, what's interesting about that? If you look at the Sphinx in Egypt, and you look at the pyramids, but specifically the Sphinx, and you look at the size of the Sphinx, there's water erosion. There's no water in Egypt today. It's pretty desert. There's the Nile River. There's the Nile River, but around the Sphinx, there's definite water erosion. 12,500 years ago, there was lush greenery everywhere there in Egypt. There was another society there in Egypt. The Sphinx is dated to be about 12,500 years old, if not older. There is a recent discovery that was made in, I think it's in Turkey. It's called Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe is this 12,000-year-old set of ruins. Now think about it, ladies. The Sumerians predate Christianity, 2,000 years ago, and going 8,000 years back. So that puts them roughly back, 6,000 to 8,000 years back. Göbekli Tepe goes 10,000 years back, putting it at 12,000 years old today. What is special about that? That shows that even before the Sumerians, who we think, who academia tells us, is the first human civilization to have architecture, to have writing systems. Well, we just found Göbekli Tepe. And in Göbekli Tepe, they uncovered these Russia. Everybody knows about, they know about the Valley of the Sun in Mexico, in central Mexico. They know about the pyramids in Egypt, but they just found pyramids in Russia and in China. And guess what? Just like in Mexico and just like in Egypt, the pyramids in China match up to the Orion's belt. I'm talking about the constellation, the Orion constellation.
Right.
Why do they all match up to that? It's like, what's the significance? Well, fuck, somebody must have come from there, potentially.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
No, we got people. You gotta wait. You've been asking questions. Okay, next question.
Okay, that question was asked by Devin.
Okay, Devin asked that question. Okay, good question, Devin.
I'm waiting for a question.
Can I ask one really fast?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the Bermuda Triangle? And it's not only the Bermuda Triangle, but there's also the Alaskan Triangle.
I'm not gonna downplay the significance of what the Bermuda Triangle can be, but I do know that there are certain places that represent vortexes. Right here in Colorado, there's a place called the Skinwalker Ranch. You ever heard of Skinwalker Ranch? Why did Bigelow Aerospace buy up that property? Well, the Native Americans believe that there is a natural occurring vortex on that land, and that strange creatures from potentially other dimensions have come through that vortex. So, if there's a vortex there, and it can be contained or harnessed, somebody like an aerospace company, a mysterious, secretive aerospace company like Bigelow, who funded, various UFO groups for their research, of course they would want something like that. So it's just, the Bermuda Triangle can represent a vortex. Off the coast of Cuba, off the coast of Cuba, a lot of people believe that there's the ancient underground, ruins that represent potentially Atlantis, is what some people say.
Right.
I know that David Wilcock and Graham Hancock spoke about this in one of the YouTube videos that I saw about a year ago, that there was a radio show and this woman called in and she was talking about that, and I guess she got in trouble because she was part of the military or something to that effect. But, there's places that have these natural occurring, vortexes, and I think the Bermuda Triangle potentially could represent one of those.
Awesome. Another question?
Lisa Preston, what does he think about the earthquake predictions for tomorrow because of the planet's alignment?
You know what? So yesterday I received a flood of emails with respects to this prediction of the Cascadian fault line off the west coast. I'm not even gonna lie about this. Even I had a little bit of reservation about this whole thing. Like, whoa, is this true? I even consulted with friends. One of them calmed me down and said, you know what? We don't know. And what the hell can we do about it if it does happen? We talked about this collective consciousness, all these people thinking the same freaking negative thing all at once. That has power. You can manifest, thoughts manifest things. Have you ever heard of that book, The Secret, The Law of Attraction?
Yeah.
Well, if you think something negative, negative things are going to happen. Yesterday, so many people were thinking negatively about this. Today, there was a massive earthquake in Mexico City, right there in Acapulco, a 7.9 earthquake.
Oh, wow.
Did all that negative thought energy create that earthquake? There was another earthquake today in Argentina, like a 6.8 or something. Then there was a 3.8 one right here in Nevada. So, I don't know. It's all up for speculation, but it's possible that all this negative thought energy manifested something to occur. We have the power to think what we want. Thoughts manifest things. It's true. I believe wholeheartedly in that.
And I really think that's a big key for people to know. You can manifest. You can create huge things. We're taught we can't. And we've been taught this our whole life. And this is part of keeping humans as sheep and keeping them down. And I know I keep saying this time and time again, but you can create. You can't fight back. You don't have to take this. People do not have to be abducted. You don't. Next question.
Patty's asking, are you saying that the movie Stargate is based on actual events?
You know, we're not only in Iraq for the oil. Okay, you need to think about this. We are in Iraq for several reasons. One that I like to point out to people is that we were there. We've been in Iraq, you know, we're just now leaving Iraq. But the entire time that we were there, did we get any of the oil? Conventional wisdom stated that we were going to get repaid for liberating them, for removing Saddam for oil. Well, one, Saddam had one of the largest hoards of gold known in mankind. Okay, he had probably one of the largest stashes of gold of any other world leader. You know, probably second only to Hugo Chavez of where the hell is Hugo Chavez from in Central America? I forgot. I'm stupid right now. Anyway, but the point is this. Venezuela. The point is this. We were in Iraq. We didn't give a shit about the gold. The reason we were there was because we wanted to liberate them, give them democracy, and get rid of the dictator so that we could rebuild Iraq. Why did we want to rebuild Iraq? We wanted to rebuild Iraq so Halliburton, CACI, all these major New World Order corporations, these Illuminati-led corporations, could go into Iraq and take the $6 billion a month that was coming in from the American taxpayer, write out, put it into their bank accounts so that they could buy up these commodities, gold, silver, whatever the hell it was, but primarily sold, predominantly gold. People believe that there is a portal, there is an ark, there is a gateway right there in Iraq that is part of the ancient Sumerian ruins that we discovered a long time ago and know how to use. And they believe that there's these, you can Google this, a lot of people believe that there's these shipments off-world of gold that have been occurring regularly. For what purpose, I don't know entirely. I have a lot of different research, and I'm trying to decide which one may be the right reason. But one of the reasons why they say we're in Iraq is because there's a gateway there. I know for a fact, based on research that I've done, there is an arc system, a gateway right here in Nevada, Area 51. One just has to look to see it. If you were to ever to go out and look over the horizon from Rachel, Nevada, or Alamo, Nevada, towards where Area 51 is, you're going to see these strange lights shooting directly in, and then about maybe a mile to a half mile above the horizon, completely disappear. They look like comets. They're coming straight in and then they disappear. Sometimes people see them going out. That is the arc system, the gateway that we know exists there at Area 51. There have been 2 television shows that have caught this phenomenon, and they're so stupid they have no idea what they caught. UFO Hunters caught it when they did their Area 51 show, and Fact or Fake Paranormal Files, they caught the same damn phenomenon when they did their show. But are they talking to one another? Do they even realize what they had on film? No. But insiders like me, who know people like Norio Hayakawa, who know people like Ike Bishop, experts on Area 51, I even know Jorg Gardner, who doesn't even know. He doesn't even believe in the whole alien concept. But I know enough information that I know for certain that there's an arc or a gateway right there in Area 51.
Wow. Oh my God. Next question.
Sacktown is asking if he's familiar with the government underwater base optic and what is going on there.
I'm sorry, what?
They're asking about the government underwater base called OPTEC and what is going on there, if you're familiar with it.
Oh, I think he's talking about the underwater facility off, I want to say Puerto Rico or Guantanamo Bay. It might be Puerto Rico. I think
So is that like a government, or is that an alien
Oh
base?
yeah, it's a classified facility.
Okay.
There's an above ground entrance. There's a military base there. I think it's a naval base, and right off the coast of that base, right there, there's a lot of reports of USO, underwater submerged objects that have been seen coming and going.
Awesome. Okay. Next.
He's saying that Satcam is saying it's in the Bahamas.
Bahamas, he said.
In the Bahamas.
Okay.
The lighthouse out there, but definitely, I believe
In
it's
the
a
water.
U.S. military installation.
Awesome.
It's a U.S. military installation, is what I believe.
Okay. Next.
We're stuck right there.
We're
Okay.
stuck right there.
You know, Anthony, I was told that. Are you familiar? You're familiar with San Francisco
A little bit, yeah.
and the Cliff House? Have you heard about the Cliff House and Sutros up where it used to be? Okay, well in San Francisco, right on the beach, on the water, there was a Cliff House, and there was a Sutros, and then there's of course it's not there anymore. The Cliff House is there, but the Sutros burnt down in the 60s, I think it was. And anyway, so they say if you look down into the water off of that high hill, that you, at certain times, you can see bright lights from underneath the water. But there's only one person that told us that, and they're an eyewitness to that, because they go up to that mountain all the time, and they do some kind of a Wiccan ritual up there. Oh, that's weird. You just...
Team, you go. Are you there?
Yeah,
Okay, you flicked on and off.
Yeah, you were here.
So, what do you think that is? Because they said the lights are right under the water.
You know, it could be either paranormal or it could be some type of, evidence of a military installation. I know that off the coast of Monterey there's supposed to be an underwater military installation.
Oh, there is?
That's what I'm told.
Military?
Everywhere.
So military.
Military, yeah. I believe Dr. Richard Souter wrote a book that showed the detailed plans of that facility.
Now, you're familiar with the sounds that people were hearing a couple of months ago all over in San Diego and in other parts of the country. What are those sounds? Do you know?
You know, I like to liken them to Gabriel's trumpet from the Bible.
Yeah.
I like to tell people that maybe it's a warning. Maybe there's something geological occurring that's being caused by a heavy mass object that's in orbit. Maybe there is a planetoid. Maybe there's something that we can't see that's causing these.
But
sounds.
Anthony, why only? I mean, we didn't hear it in the Bay Area, but yet San Diego heard it.
Fault lines. If you look at a lot of the videos that are on YouTube, like in Costa Rica, the Ukraine, San Diego, hell, I think even one of the baseball games, one of the things that I found is that they're all near fault lines, certain active fault lines. So obviously there's some type of a geological aspect to these sounds. Maybe the Earth is shifting. There are a lot of people are saying that the magnetic poles are about to shift with the cosmic alignments. Maybe that's what the government knows. Some people have speculated that a lot of those sounds are being caused by the construction of these bunkers for the elite that are getting prepared. One of the things that I'm finding is that there have been a lot of reports of hedge fund managers and bankers that have been abandoning their positions. They're quitting their jobs, they're hoarding their money, and they're just disappearing. Well, where the hell are they going? Well, they're buying their way into these underground bunkers.
Yeah.
Magnetically shielded underground bunkers.
Yeah.
Why? Because something is going to happen. Maybe it's a nuclear war. Maybe it's a coronal mass ejection, or what they refer to as a CME. Could be any one of those things.
Well, we have a question.
Okay, Lisa Preston is asking if the Earth is hollow.
I don't know about the. I've never really done a lot of research into the hollow Earth theory, but I can tell you this: there are things within the Earth that we have no freaking idea about. Just a few years ago, we discovered the giant crystal caves in Mexico, right there in Chihuahua, Mexico.
Right.
Look at that. I mean, the crystalline structures within this So for us to be, pompous and egotistical and thinking we know everything, it's pretty damn stupid because we don't even know our own planet as well as we think we do.
Question.
Okay, Raymond 17 also said that his uncle saw stuff from the ocean like that, like you just spoke about. And things flying in and out of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I believe it.
I know a lot of people, like we have Mount Diablo here, you've got Shasta, a lot of activity in those, and mountains up and out, in and out.
I spoke to a guy, I think it was February or March of 2010, right about the time I started this whole Dulce investigation. I spoke with a guy, he was local here from Sacramento. He told me about a ship that he had been on when he was in the Vietnam War. They were on the ship. He gave me the name of the ship and everything. He even told me his commanding officer's name. They saw this massive illuminating disc emerge from the water and hover for 10 minutes above their ship as if it was scanning them and then just take off. And everybody on the ship was ordered to shut the hell up about it and not say anything about it. But he came forward to me and told me about it. I was honored. I have that information somewhere. I should make it available.
Oh, yeah. Can I ask a question, or do you have one? Do you have one? Okay, so now you wrote about Area 51, Anthony?
No, I wrote about Dulce, New Mexico.
Okay, so and I know you're familiar with Area 51. What I want to know is, you know how they have these videos? Was there any aliens that survived Area 51 that crashed in there?
Stated that there was this S4 facility, that there were alien, he said that there were craft there. I don't know if Bob Lazar said there were alien entities working there, but there are other individuals who have come forward that have stated that, yes, there are gray beings working there in Area 51.
But was there a crash that happened in Area 51?
No, the crash that occurred, it was at Roswell, New Mexico.
Oh.
Stanton Friedman was the first civilian investigator to look into Roswell, New Mexico. He interviewed Lieutenant Colonel Jesse Marcel, who was the guy that got a hold of some of the pieces of the downed craft, showed them to his son and his wife, and then, under threat of the military, retracted the story, and along with everybody else, said, it was just a weather balloon that we found.
Yeah, they made a movie about that. But in that crash, were there aliens that survived?
I believe there were a couple of aliens that survived that crash, according to some of the mythology surrounding it. I don't know for certain.
Oh, you don't know what they did with them?
Oh, no.
Send them back to their people, probably. All those little grays running around.
Oh, they're probably here. Okay, Anthony, now the Greys, they look like us? They're intermingled with...
No.
Oh, they don't look like us.
No, the Greys don't look like us. The Anunnaki look like us. The Anunnaki appear to be human.
And so they're walking around with us.
The Anunnaki live amongst... Well, they don't live with us. They live in mansions and gated golf course communities and,
But there's a lot of, and I talk to people. These are people who they call themselves star people or light workers, whatever you want to call them. But they say they're from the stars. They come here. They look like humans, and they're here to help. So have you had anything about that?
No. I think I have one of them appearing in my show. Michelle Manning claims to be one of those star people, so I don't. Well, you'll have to talk to her in person.
Okay. So star people are different from aliens?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
They're from other planets, and they come here and they take human form, and they're here to help humanity to not fall into what he talks about, to not fall into all this. They're here to help.
One of the theories is that sometime soon in the future, sometime soon, that there's this group that's going to be coming here that's going to disarm the entire planet, eliminate this New World Order structure that's here, and kind of reboot the planet. And they're going to be nice nice to us. That's what some people are saying. You know, I like to think that that's a possibility because it's a happy sounding thing.
It's a definite possibility. We have another question.
Okay, Cheyenne is asking, did you hear that Marilyn Monroe was killed because she was going to divulge secrets about Area 51 that JFK supposedly told her?
Yeah, I heard that. I've heard that theory before, but I've never researched it. I just heard the theory.
Why would they bother to kill her? Nobody listened to her anyway. She was an actress. I mean, really, why would they kill her? She had no power whatsoever.
She's a public figure. She was a public figure.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know, you're a public figure. All these people who are talking about this, why kill her?
Not really, not like her. I mean, not that many people know who the hell I am, so...
Yeah, but I don't think anybody really listened to Marilyn. They loved to look at her. They loved her movies, but did they listen to her? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Any other ones?
Sorry. Raymond said she had power.
She had
to
power?
the people, you know?
She what?
That she had power with the people, and people watched her.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, there you go. Okay. Okay. Do you have any more questions? Ma'am? Missy?
Okay. Anthony, I did a show about a year and a half or so ago, and it was on aliens. And there were two people that came to my house for this round table that we did. And one claimed to be a reptilian, and the other one was, I don't know if he was a reptilian, but he said every night he was abducted by the UFOs. Every night they would come and get him. And he actually showed us pictures of him changing. His looks keep changing, and I don't know what he's going to end up looking like. But he showed us pictures of how he looked before all this started, and the poor thing is like a walking skeleton. He's all sunken in, and his looks are actually changing. And the other guest was a female, and she claimed to be a reptilian, but she looked human. And she said that, and I asked her, I said, well, can you change into your reptilian form? And she said, unfortunately, I can't do it here in front of everybody. And she said when she went home, that she could go into her reptilian form.
Oh, Lordy. So why was she with this guy then?
She wasn't with the guy.
You said
oh, no, they were
them.
two different. They belonged to a UFO, alien group on a meetup group. That's how I contacted them. It was a meetup.
Wacky.
And I don't know. She said she was a reptilian, but actually the other guy and the wife, he was married, and the wife said, I guess I don't know if she saw him being abducted, but
so they're
every night
they're changing.
He's changing, and he's scared. He's scared to death.
Don't get me started.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just did research. I did a field investigation with somebody. I don't want to say the name or anything or where it was, but this guy claims that he's been followed by these entities. He's been interacting with them, and I'm not in the business of sensationalizing anybody's private business. But there were certain things about this guy that led me to believe that he's not crazy. Something's going on with him in particular. So,
Is it paranormal or alien?
That's what we were trying to determine when we were up there. We were trying to determine is this paranormal, and I walked away thinking it was not paranormal. That it had more to do with the extraterrestrial nature. Like he was being targeted and utilized for purposes of experimentation.
Yeah, are you familiar with Thomas Reed?
No.
Okay, Thomas Reed, he actually is going to be a guest of ours, and his whole generation, and I don't know how far back it went, the whole generation has been abducted by aliens.
That is a phenomenon that I'm very familiar with, yes. Mothers, daughters, sons, fathers, yes. Going back, I've heard that theory before.
Yeah, and something that's their blood or something that they have as to why the aliens?
I think that some people have been targeted because of their blood type, and it's unfortunately it's just something, a genetic marker that they carry that makes them the type of individual that's sought after by these extraterrestrials that perform, these types of experiments. Breeding programs, I don't know, lots of different things. I've been told so many different things by so many different people that have gone through their own personal experiences, and a lot of it is documented. I'm not going to divulge what it is some of these people have told me because I want to maintain their privacy. But there's stuff out there. D. Greg writes books on this stuff. His name is D.E.E. Greg, G-R-A-G, D. Greg. You can find him at Amazon.com. His book sells for $10, but he tells a whole bunch of stuff. He actually teaches a class at the University of New Mexico on alien abduction and UFOs. It's a section, accredited class. So
wow, nice.
Figure that out.
Oh, well, time's up.
Wow.
Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the show. Anthony, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having me. I appreciate it. This was fun.
It was great.
Awesome.
And now, don't forget, you can go to Anthony's website, www.ufohighway.com. Check his website out. You can also buy his book off of his website. And the other book that Anthony has written that it's not out yet, is that correct? The Project Leonode?
Yeah, Project Leonode. But more importantly, I wanted you guys to tell people about my event that's coming up in Sacramento.
Right. Sorry, I forgot.
It's the UFO Paranormal Summit. If you just go to SacUFOCon.com, or type in UFO Paranormal Summit in a search engine browser like Google, it'll come right up and it'll tell you about the event.
Awesome.
What it's about.
Well, I've been posting on Facebook.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go. I'm hoping to go to that. And again, in July, we're going to have Anthony back, and we're going to talk about that project.
Leonid.
Yes, and that should be another great show. I didn't want to bring it into this because I wanted to keep that separate. So everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Join us next week, next Tuesday, same time, for another great guest. And Anthony, again, I want to thank you so much for being our guest. It was, I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great week.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.